progress report, week 13. Here are my numbers for the week. I was able to do 2 cardio sessions in addition to my 3 strength training sessions, and I feel really good about that. Let's take a quick look at the cardio sessions first. In the first cardio session, I was only there for 10 minutes. And I did an interval that I like to call my bike chase interval, where I bike for 1 minute, find a pace that's comfortable. And my bike, it's like levels, and I'm at level 4, apparently. And then as soon as it hits 1 minute, 0 seconds, I bike hard. And I bike hard for 30 seconds. So as soon as it hits 1 minute, 30 seconds, I chill. And I chill for 30 seconds. So then once it hits 2 minutes, bike hard for 30 seconds and then chill for 30 seconds. And during the chill, I don't want the bike to think I'm not there to stop working. So I still need the pedals to move, but basically I can go as slow as I want to go. Because the second part of the minute is about recuperating, and then the first 30 seconds is about biking hard. I don't change the level. I'm still at a level 4 on both the recovery and the biking hard part. And it works for me. Simple enough. I think it could work for other people as well. Now the chase part of this comes into what I visualize when I'm biking hard, which is myself being chased. Now, Dr. Huberman talks about this in the Huberman Lab, suggests this to someone who wants to lose weight. And it also goes hand in hand with something I've read in the Gabriel method, which is not as scientific as Dr. Andrew with all of his science. But it sort of speaks to the same thing, which is trying to signal my body that it's more safe to be fit, to be able to run is more safe than being my size. And to be honest, it helps me bike faster when I do that. I'll have to sometimes close my eyes, and that works out fine. Even though it's just 10 minutes, I get that adrenaline rush that you get when you do cardio. And so, highly recommend if anyone wants to try, go for it. For the second cardio session, I did walking on the treadmill, and I've never been on a treadmill for an hour. This is insane. The only reason I was able to do it was because I've been reading a book. And by reading, I mean listening. So the book was really exciting. And after I've gone about, 15, 20 minutes, I was still, smack in the middle of the story, and I didn't want to stop. And I had time. So I just asked myself, can I go an hour? And it turned out I could. So I did. After that session, I felt it in my feet, and the day after as well. I need to get better shoes, because the shoes I have at the gym are really cheap ones. You don't need anything special if you're only there to do strength training. But if I'm going to start walking for an hour or doing longer cardio sessions, I probably need to get better shoes. Okay, let's dig into the exercises. Starting with the Sumo Squat. As you can see, there's actually no change when it comes to the weight, and that's because I carry enough weight of myself when doing a squat. I chose to do a sumo squat, which basically just means that I stand wider apart with my legs, because it allows me to go down further and gives me a higher range of motion. Here is a comparison. Week 5 to 9, I did these types of squats. And then I did leg press in between in the machine, and now I'm doing sumo squats. And as you can see, I can come down quite a bit further, and I feel it in my body. So I'm going to continue doing sumo squats and focusing on how low I can go each time to get more range of motion, and that translates to actually building muscle. So I'm really happy to focus on that and continue doing that. Let's look at deadlifts. Now, the deadlift, I'm now able to do with a barbell instead of doing it with kettlebells. And I'm really proud of that, able to do them. I did run into a little bit of an issue, at least I thought it was, when I started doing the deadlifts with a barbell. Now, if you look at instructions on how to properly do a regular deadlift, you're supposed to hold your arms on the outside of your legs when you grip the barbell. And that's the tricky part, because If you hold your arms on the outside of your legs, it means you have to lower your butt really far to be able to straighten your back, to have a proper form on your back and not bend over when you do the lift. And that is really, really important, because if you bend and you try and lift with a bent back, that's when you risk injury. And we don't want to risk any injury. You don't want to get injured in any way. That was really hard as a big person to be able to push my butt down far enough to be able to straighten my back that way. And I think I did one rep like that, like the first rep. And then when I went down with the bar, I noticed my legs were not on the inside of my arms. They were just pretty much right behind them, and then almost a little bit wider. So my body naturally winded my stance with my legs to be able to do the deadlift and keep proper form in my back. And I'm not angry about that. That made sense to my body doing it. And I was just focusing on keeping my back straight and my core engaged. But of course I was a little bit worried, because that's not what I saw online when people were talking about how to do a regular deadlift. And so I started researching, as you do. Turns out there's something called a sumo deadlift, just like there's a sumo squat, in which you stand wider. And when you do that, of course your arms are on the inside of your legs. And then the more I thought, I realized when I did deadlifts with a kettlebell, it was the same thing. My arms were on the kettlebell in the middle, and then my legs were on the outside. So this type of exercise, doing deadlifts with the legs on the outside of the arms, is natural. There's a name for it. There are exercises for it, which leads me to believe it's not dangerous. It's not prone to injury. And so I'm going to continue doing that. I'm probably going to try to do the regular deadlifts as well, because the more I train to be able to get down to the proper form, the easier it's going to be. If I don't train for it, I'm never going to be able to. I'll just continue doing the deadlifts and really focusing on my back and activating my core as to not get an injury. The overhead press. Here you can see something that I haven't said yet, which is on the second strength training workout I had this week. I had company. I had a friend who went training with me. He's been training strength training since he was a teenager, off and on his whole life. And it was actually good fun. It's the first time I had company and was able to talk to someone and train with someone. And he was willing to do my routine, which felt good because, I'm on this routine. I want to keep doing it. You can see I pushed myself a little harder when he was there. And then actually the time after was a little bit less. And you can see it on the reps. It's not a big difference. I'm not worried. It was fun to have a friend there, and it's going well. It was nice to be able to see how he does the exercises as well. Next, let's look at the bench press. Now here I was able to push myself a bit more. I'm also doing the 5x5 for the first time, which is 5 sets of 5 reps. I really like this way because going from doing 3x10, 5 reps is really short and it feels easier mentally to just push through. So I really like that. It does take longer time because 5 sets with rest in between, it does take more time, and I don't think I want to do that for all of my exercises at the same time because I don't have the patience to stay in the gym for that long. So I'm only doing it for 2 exercises this routine. I probably will continue to not do it for a lot of them at the same time, but for now this works out really good. I had my friend, as I mentioned before, there on the second strength training, and he told me that I should probably have a wider grip on the bar when I'm doing the bench press. And I think he's right. I did research when I came home just to double check, and I was holding it a bit too tight. I do recommend that you do that as I do. If someone gives you advice, even if it's someone who's been training since they're a teenager, that doesn't mean they're educated. They haven't, been researching things, or they could have been, but you shouldn't trust that. Even if you trust the person, as I do, my friend, I think he's great. I believe that whatever he's doing has been working for him and is probably really good. That doesn't mean it's going to be great for me. So when I came home, I thought through all of his advice and did some research just to double check. Turns out most of it was spot on. So I'm really happy that he came and gave me that advice, and I was able to use it and adjust my training. Lat pull downs. Now here you can see I've actually gone down in weight. So I did 121 pounds and I went down to 99 pounds. Now why did I do that? Well, on the second time, again, when I had my friend over, he helped me film. My tripod, I lost it. Not getting into that, really annoyed with myself. But anyway, he helped me film and showed me that I'm actually leaning backwards a lot when I'm doing this. And you can see it here. And I've done some research about that, and it's not wrong. You can do lat pull downs leaning backwards. And you should a little bit, but I'm probably doing it too much. And by doing that, I'm making it too easy for myself, because the more you lean backward, the easier it becomes, because you activate other muscles, and it becomes more of a row than a pull down when you do it like that. And I want to train the lat pull down muscles, the ones that are supposed to be there. So I want to sit more upright and do a closer lean, so to speak. In the spirit of doing proper form, I decided to really lower the level when it came to weight for the third workout session and really just focus on proper form. Probably went a little bit too low. I felt I could push myself definitely more, and I will next time. But I still think it's the right decision to do, to just lower the weight, do proper form as I wanted to do it. And then now when I push, I want to keep that incline a little bit closer going forward. Finally, the row machine, my least favorite still, and that's fine. I'll probably get more out of it if I do it earlier in my workout session, but I don't like it, so I'll do it at the end. That's fine. I'm not upping the weight, as you can see, but I am upping the reps, and I will keep pushing to up the reps. I've done this before, so I'm not that worried about form in this machine. Just keep doing it, keep pushing, even if it's not my favorite. Still workout, still good, so I'll keep at it. Weigh-in for week 13 was not good. I'm 374.5 pounds, which is up 3.7 pounds since last week. Now that's a lot. And seeing that number made me really sad and just feel like it doesn't matter. Even though I had such great workout sessions, it felt like it's not working. And I know I can probably do more, but I'm also doing this the way I'm doing it because it has to be sustainable long term for me. That's a good, huge goal. And so I don't want to take giant measures because I know it's not going to be sustainable. And I felt like it's not working. I did something I'm not proud of. And I'm not sure how you say this. I had a binge. I did binge eating yesterday. And it's probably the worst thing you can do as a reaction to gaining weight is to binge and eat more food. But I ended up doing that. And it's the first proper binge I've had this year. Which is a good thing. I've had a little bit of candy and chips here and there throughout the weeks since the start of this year, but I never had a binge like yesterday, which was both chips and cookies, and I don't even want to get into it. However, what makes me feel even worse is, now I'm laughing because look closer at the numbers today, and my scale measures muscle, fat, and bone, not only weight. And according to my scale, I'm actually up in muscle and down in fat. And it has to be up a lot in muscle. So according to my scale, it's up 5 pounds, which is not reasonable. I realize it's not correct. And I don't think these scales can be correct. Not when it comes to that, you can't go up 5 pounds in a week. However, it's an indication. And the indication is that I'm gaining muscle and losing weight, even while gaining like I did this week, week 13. So had I seen that yesterday, I might not have gotten so sad, which ended up, binge eating. So I need to forgive myself, of course, get over the emotions or walk through them, however, and keep going, because it is working. I know it is. I feel way better than I have for probably years. And I just keep at it. I guess we'll see next week what happens. So in summary, training for week 13 went really well. Weigh-in went really bad, although the indication is my gain is mostly muscle. We'll see in the future how that affects my metabolism and how fast I can lose weight going forward. This week, week 14 for me, I'm still going to focus hard on doing proper form more than pushing myself, and getting at least one cardio session in there, hopefully more. And I should probably get some new shoes. So if I can do this, you can too. I'll see you at the gym.